Welcome to my channel, I'm Topher Smurf, and here are my tips for the new players in Summoner's War Chronicles. Let's get to it. For many veterans of the genre, re-rolling might be a great option for you. But even if you're unfamiliar with the term, it's quite easy to do and can make for a much better experience. Re-rolling is when you delete your account early and reset the game in order to possibly summon a top-tier 5-star monster. Now, you have to be ready to put in the work, because I've seen people re-roll dozens of times without getting the monster they want. My advice is that in the process of re-rolling, when you get a decent Nat 5, keep it. Most 5 stars are very good and will help you immensely in the game, so don't feel bad if you don't summon that S-tier 5-star monster. Now I know for some of you this might seem like a no-brainer, but I know for me and for many others, I am constantly using the wrong element weapon when fighting monsters and bosses. So as you progress through the game and get better weapons, make sure to hit the button at the bottom right of your screen to switch to the appropriate weapon. Here's a helpful graphic to remember the attribute advantages. Wind beats water, water beats fire, fire beats wind. Light and dark sort of cancel each other out. Please do not spend your crystals on summons. The game is very generous with summon rates and giving out scrolls, including having a pity system. Hey, Comtuous. You hear what Comtuous just said? They put in a pity system. There are much better places to spend your crystals. Dungeon refreshing is one of the best places to spend your crystals. You only have a few entries for the dungeons each day, so use those refreshes if you have the time. Also, there are consumables sections where you can purchase useful items on a regular basis. The shop also has a section where you can spend crystals on inventory upgrades that give you more space in your inventory. It's always the worst when you have to sort out your inventory because you ran out of space.
Bonus stage!
Speaking of inventory, you actually have account storage that you can put some items in that you don't need. This will be more important later in the game, but to get there, just make sure you are in Castellan and come to the top left. There is a list of locations that you can auto-travel to. Just find Deckard, the storage guard, and there you go. Store all of your items you don't need but don't want to sell. Hoarding will definitely become a problem. You might be tempted to dump all your experience potions into one monster because you got an awesome 5-star, but make sure to have a couple monsters of different types and elements. Each region you go to in the early game has a specific monster element type that you will encounter most. Rudolin is water, Teska is fire, and Aya is wind. So you don't want to only build water monsters and then have a really hard time when you reach the wind region, Aya. Also, make sure to have the right weapon out for each region.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb.
5-star monsters will come naturally as you play the game. Some are better than others. But look at me, if I only built my 5 stars, then I would only have water monsters, which are not great against wind-type monsters and bosses. Also, make sure to try and build an assortment of monster types as well. There are several types of monsters with different specialties, so you don't want to have all warrior and mage types. Yeah, you will do a lot of damage, but probably are going to die quickly without either a knight class monster and or some support characters. You will get pieces for your monsters by opening pieces chests. These pieces can be used to summon monsters at the summon altar. You will need 20 pieces to summon that monster. You're also going to be summoning a lot of new monsters. A lot in this game particularly, but you will also get a lot of dupes or duplicates. So dupes become pieces which you can use in the exchange pieces shop to purchase valuable items like Rainbow Mon for evolving your characters. I recommend getting the Breath of Life, Rainbow Mon in each category until you get to categories 3, 4, and 5. Here is where you might be a little bit more careful. If there is a monster you really want, make sure you have some pieces available and maybe they will show up here in the shop. Don't spend all of your pieces though, because those pieces are used for skill ups and evolutions, which make each one of your monsters stronger. Let's look at the different shops available to you and see what the higher priority things to buy are. If you are going to spend any money, There are a couple of packs that you can get that are $1 each and are a decent deal because it also activates the first purchase reward, which comes with a legendary scroll. Not bad. There are a couple purchases you can make with red crystals, including the Path of Growth ticket package and the Dungeon ticket package. These are both a pretty good deal for only 500 crystals, and you will be farming a lot. The next best value is probably getting the Premium Summoner's Pass. You get a free Nat 5 and lots of other goodies. As far as my free-to-play and minnows out there, we gotta focus on optimizing our time and in-game currency. Let's start with the Arena Shop. Here, I would prioritize the Devil Mons, then the Rainbow Mons, and lastly, the Breath of Life. If you have leftovers, you can spend your arena points however you want. If there's a monster you really want, of course, have fun with the game and go for those monsters. The Guild Merchant is really overpriced, so I would stay away from most things and focus on those Sky Stones, which you will need a lot of later on. Of course, always have fun and buy those 5-star monsters if you want them. The Raid and Subjugation shops are mostly weapons, which you will get by completing the story quest, so you can look at these shops a little later on in the game. As far as the Trial of Ascension's shop, there's not a whole lot here other than cosmetics and some rides. There also is the monsters crystals, so if you want to grab those, go for it. What I would focus on though is in the Power of Ascension section, you can essentially increase the stats and power level of your monsters and summoners through increasing all of these skill points. So make sure to be spending your Trial of Ascension points here first. There are 3 major dungeons you will be farming a lot: Path of Growth, Kairos, and the Party Dungeons. Using all of your entries on these dungeons each day is a great way to progress faster and power up your monsters quicker. You can even use red crystals to refresh your entries in the dungeons. This is a great way to use those red crystals. Again, no summoning. If you are having trouble autoing a dungeon, it is better to go down a level to safely complete your repeat auto battles. On that note, you should try and mostly farm the bonus dungeon each day. Unless you really need a certain material, farming the bonus dungeons each day will be the most efficient use of your entries and time each day. There are multiple bonus dungeons on the weekends, so take advantage of your weekends. It can be really tempting to just blow through the main quest and race to the end, and to be fair, it's surprisingly long. There are a lot of side missions and region-specific tasks that you can work through along the way. These missions are almost completely auto and give you really great rewards. Speaking of great rewards, don't forget to complete the area dungeons along your journey. Completing these dungeons gives you tons of Rainbow Mons and crystals. There is also the Adventure Record, which you will complete naturally as you progress through the game, but some objectives you might miss and will want to come back and complete those to earn the juicy rewards for each chapter. Well guys, that's all the tips I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any tips, leave a comment below. If you want to see more Summoners War Chronicles content, make sure to like and subscribe so I know to keep making more. I stream live on YouTube most weekdays, playing a variety of games, so come hang out with me. And hey, don't you ever stop gaming. See you next time.